Okay, now, so this Saturday or today is the fourth Saturday that we're discussing the teachings, the wheel of wisdom, the Samsara and Nirvana, the two sides of the same hand. So now, so for last 3 Saturdays, we went through about the reality nature of the both Samsara and Nirvana as the ground Mahamudra. And then after that, since second Saturday, then even though we have the Buddha nature, but how and why we wander in the samsara, so all these different causes and conditions that doesn't allow to see our Buddha nature, our innate nature, and we are called confused in the artificial life. So in the samsara, everything's artificial, superficial. It's confusion. It's not real. So that you see, as in the Four Noble Truths, you see, Buddha said, you should know the suffering. So there, all the different types of suffering described, and the cause of the suffering, all the details described there. And then Buddha said, follow the path. So we did last time, see, how we can awaken the confusion. So we went through step by step all the paths. So now, today, the cessation of suffering. There's all the steps that we take. We follow it step by step. So as I mentioned, this text is short, but has the complete teachings regarding the both samsara and nirvana. So please reflect on this carefully, not just today or these last 3 Saturdays. Please reflect on this again and again, read again and again, and then reinforce your Dharma practice. So now, here we have the today we start from second. So from second there are up to 7 topics or headlines that how we can understand enlightenment is about. So first is the example. What is the example of the enlightenment? Just to remind, as we said the opening prayers, we expand our mind to achieve complete enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So it's called unconfined no, the profundity and vastness of the mind. You know the word unconfined? Okay, confined is, you see, we are trapped in our ego, in our delusion. So unconfined means the freedom, the vastness, the reality nature of the mind. So we expand that mind as a space to free ourselves from the confusion, the delusion that where we are trapped in. And so as I mentioned, the purpose of cultivating bodhicitta is not as some religious training or religious belief, but it is a method the Buddha taught that we how to free from all the suffering, which means we have to release the cause of suffering. We have to free from the causes of the suffering. So that's to cultivate the mind as vast as the space. So unconfined mind, unartificial, see, as it is. So this is what, see. So this is the fundamental, how the view of the Gongchik is taught. Okay, I know many people are interested. Gongchik, what is the Gongchik? No, so there are many teachers explaining this is the Gongchik, that's the Gongchik. You know, I don't know if everybody is conveying this. No, of course you can explain the words, all the words meaning, but the depth of the reality nature, how it can be explained and understood. See, so this unconfined, the mind, which is the profound and vast, free from all the boundaries. So we cultivate that mind, and when you cultivate that mind, and there's no room for the confusion, ignorance, or the mental afflictions, because all the mental afflictions are the artificial, because they are confusion. We are bewildered within that confusion. No? So to open the heart and see, the vastness of the space, then there's space for everything. So we cultivate that mind, and then we follow this step by step. Okay. Now the examples, the example of eliminated confusion. So waking from sleep. Waking from sleep. We in the deep sleep, dreaming. Lot of different dreams we have. Then when we wake from that, then what is there? So here I will read. Our various positive and negative dream experiences. In the dream, we have different experiences, good or bad, sometimes nightmare, sometimes delighted. So that such as anxiety and terror from enemies and victimizers. So we're trapped in that. And then sometimes enjoyment of glorious divine palace. So living into such a beautiful place, all the comfort that you need. So in the dream, these different types of experiences we have are real to us when they are happening within the dream. When these experiences, good or bad, they are real. When there's a flood, such kind of it's a fear, anxiety is there. When there's such a beautiful place, such a great enjoyment is there. You experience this, you see. In the dream, they are real. See, you cannot deny that. Now, but are gone when we awake, neither real nor unreal. See, as soon as when you wake up from that terrifying dreaming, like a flood. Now you see there's a lot of flood in many countries, and the fire, burning, forest, all this nightmare, those, like in the dream, when those are there, when you awake, there's no flood, there's no fire. So what you can say, it's neither real nor unreal, because it does not exist. If there is something, then you can say it is real or not real. When there's nothing, what you can say real or not real. You see? So when I see a person, then that's the context, the person I see. When that person is making mistake, I see he or she is making mistake. Or if that person is doing well, you say, yes, that person is doing well. So there's something to say about it. But when I see the person is nature of emptiness, illusory nature, and emptiness, so what I can say is neither real nor unreal, you see. That's a very important point here. So look at this, look at our own mind. Say, I like, I don't like, because there's something is there. I'm perceiving something. But that perception, the object itself is not exist. So when I realize that itself is non-exist, how I can say I like or don't like? See, it's a very important point, you see. Or I see the illusory nature. No, I cannot deny the illusory nature. But because of this delusion, or illusion, I should say, because it is illusory nature, illusory nature means neither good nor bad, because it's illusion. So this is the wisdom we need to capture the meaning of what that means, how we can release our confusion. See, our heads are left spinning at this confusion within the confusion. See, we're spinning in our head, in the confusion, within the confusion. See, first there's a confusion, then we exaggerate multiply the confusion. So our head is spinning, you know. You see. Then there's a lot of imputed. We impute. We kind of say, explain. You know, this is about this. This is about this space, you know. Like saying, going to space. Then these wonderful things all about there, you know. So if you practice the Dharma, all those people, rich or poor, everyone has a dream. That dream is nothing but confusion. See? So, but all the various outer phenomena are just the same. Other than merely appearing, they are not actually theirs, just appearing. You can see the rainbow so beautifully. No. You can enjoy the rainbow, the freshness, the color of the rainbow. But you will not try to get the rainbow and head, wear on your head, you know, or you can bring a necklace, you know. You say, it's rainbow. Beautiful, you cannot deny that. Let it appear and let it disappear. So all the things in our life, just look back in our life. Now here, you know, we have a lot of experience in our life. Those all are good or bad, it's just gone as a dream. We have only memory. We have something to say from our memory, from our experience, like or dislike. But it's all like a dream gone. We don't have here now. So look this. So there's one very nice quotation from Samadhi Raja Sutra. So the Samadhi Raja Sutra, the king of the meditative concentration by Buddha, states it in this way. A young woman in a dream gives birth to a son. She gives birth a child, only to watch him die. She is happy when he is born, you see. She gave birth to a child. Then she was so happy because she gave birth to a child. I like my child so much. But then, unhappy when he dies. Then within that, the child dies in the dream, see. In the dream, she gave birth to a child and she was so happy. So I give birth to a child. This is like my life. No. But then, not too long after, the child died and she felt so sad, crying, tears, you know. Then you see, but when she awake from the sleep, did she give birth to child? No, you see. She didn't give birth to child. But then she said, she awake and she's astonished. I have a dream, you say, no? I gave birth to child. I was so happy. But then child died. I was so sad about that. So in the samsara, the example is so important. So Buddha is saying, know that every single phenomena is like this, just like this, you see. within the samsara is, we should understand, within in the samsara, everything is like that. When we achieve something, we're so happy. When we lost something, we're so sad. Your heart is full of joy when you achieve what you want. Then your heart is beating. You feel so sad. Things what is lost in the samsara. We are all is about this. As the mother, initially, there was no child has given birth. So it's called unborn. So then that child was unborn, there's nothing to die. So unborn, no birth, no cease to exist. So all this illusory nature, what we see in the dualistic nature, we spend our whole energy within that to achieve something, to get something from this. At the end of the day, everything's like a dream. Just investigate. Just investigate if it makes sense. Look at this. The point is, how to release our suffering and how to release the cause of suffering, the confusion. This is what we're talking about. Our interest is to free from suffering. See? So don't kind of lose your optimal object of Dharma study. So this is, as I mentioned, not a Buddhist thing or Buddhism. Buddhism as a religion, but this is reality nature. Buddhist, non-Buddhist, believer, non-believer. And this is it's a reality nature of everything. But your understanding, not understanding, is individual's responsibility. Make sense? Because the mind is so profound. As I mentioned, the mind is like an onion. You can peel one after another, one after another. There's so many layers to peel the mind, mental state. Because of that, everybody's interest is different. Because there's a different mentality, depending on the habitual tendency of the individuals. So this is about the mind. The mind is such a profound. So here, that's why we need all these explanations, understanding. See? There you can say, oh, yes, it makes sense. So look at this. Now, same thing in that Samadhi Raja Sutra, Buddha said, when you look at the bubbles, in that text, next to the water, there's water is running, and it produces a lot of bubbles. So bubbles are carrying by the stream of the river, and you can see the bubbles. See, but you check what's the essence there. Bubble just manifests from the water and dissolves into the water. There's no essence. And everything's momentary nature. Moment to moment, moment to moment. So we cannot hang on the bubbles. Let bubble manifest from the water and let it dissolve into the water. If I say, oh, I like this bubble so much, I want to make it concrete. And I'm working so hard to make the bubble concrete. The bubble will dissolve into the water anyway. And meanwhile, I'm making so much effort and I go through a lot of suffering. All these are meaningless. In that sutra, I also mentioned, you go to the mountain, rocky mountain, and then you shout. Then the echo will come back. No, you scream, and the echo will scream. You laugh, the echo will back to laughing, But all this crying, laughing, shouting, there's no any essence. It's just a reflection of your echo. So whole world is in that nature. We're fighting each other, quarreling each other. At the end, there's nothing. So look at this. That means release this our confusion. So that. The next is saying, all this current world of appearance, what you see, Here appearance means what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, the touch, all this world of appearance. Appears real to a confused mind. This all are so real. Everybody in the samsara. East, west, anywhere, we all are in one, team. Everything is so real. That said this said that what happens, this is all. Well, as I mentioned, now that there are a lot of fires in different places. It's real. You cannot deny that. And people around, they are suffering so much. See? But when fundamental awareness rests in the sphere of dharmata, there's not even a speck of anything real or fake. See? All those appearances, so as I mentioned, like a rainbow, like an echo, or reflection of the moon in the lake. When you see the moon in the lake as a reflection, moon from the sky, you will never to achieve say, I want to get that moon from the lake. When you hear the echo from the mountain, you will never pay attention to good or bad because you have the awareness. Likewise, when we have the fundamental wisdom to penetrate the reality nature of all these things, you see, they are neither good nor bad. Because these things naturally within the emptiness, no separation from emptiness. As you know, the form is emptiness, and emptiness is the form. Form is no other than emptiness, and emptiness is no other than form, you see. So your mind is totally relaxed, and you have such a great wisdom. It's not just merely empty. We're not negating, you see. If we're negating, it's wrong, it's mistake. But we have to have understanding, wisdom, to see that reality, nature as it is. So then when you have that, you're totally relaxed. And then within that, there's great compassion to all the sentient beings. And that compassion is, you see, unartificial. It's called inborn compassion within the sphere of the total wisdom. See? Then there is no fear. There's nothing to lose. That's what is now here. The example of the example of how it eliminated the confusion. See, so there is not even a speck of anything real or fake, because everyone, oneself and others, die. We are not real, so we all are not real. One day we'll die, you know. Right now, I'm thinking here, I'm real, you know. I'm here. When I'm hungry, I'm hungry. When I get good breakfast, I say, I got good breakfast. I'm real, you know. This is, I perceive myself as something real. But if I realize myself here, it's nothing but manifestation. It's just manifested within in the emptiness. And emptiness, this is I perceive as a form. So that's a confusion. Now, emptiness here, I mentioned, doesn't mean nothing, no. It's all just manifestation. Manifestation of many causes and conditions put together. Interdependent, interconnected. So because of, so having said that, see, then you see itself is not real. When I see this, when I understand this, I'm not attached to myself. No. If somebody says good things about me, there's nothing to attach. If somebody says bad things about me, there's nothing to hate, because I myself is just interdependent, interconnected. There's nothing to attach. See? So that's why I say, since we are going to die, then we're not real. Just see that. So this is so profound, how to release our attachment, our ingrained, pernicious attachment. Release these, release these entanglement, mental afflictions or confusions. Let go all this confusion, And death itself is not real, but is an illusion. So now death, I die, I'm not real because I will die. But then you ask, if the death is real, it's also not real. It's just illusion. First of all, when I realize that myself, this here, is not a real, it's not a substantial thing. It's just illusory nature. So since it is the illusory nature, so death is illusory nature. See, there's nothing to die. That's why it's called, there's no death, there's no birth. You see, when you realize this, then there's no hope and fear. So just meditate on this, reflect. I try to now say, explain, depending to my understanding, you see, how to free from fear and how to release our attachment. See? Then we can do a lot. We can help so many sentient beings. Because the material world is destroyed by fire and water, it is also unreal. So you look at, a dense forest. As soon as when there's fire, it is all destroyed. So that forest is not real. See, this kind of like little bit more, let's say, gross level of understanding of impermanence. But it's the forest itself. If you investigate all the tree by each dust particle, you cannot find the forest. But still, we see the forest when there's trees. Now, when that is destroyed for fire, you can see this forest is not real. No? And then if you think the fire is real, the fire is not real. As soon as there's no tree, there's no fire. Fire is there, when the tree is there. As soon as the trees are consumed, disappeared, no fire exists. That's called interdependent, interconnected. Without the right, no left. See this? So meditate on this, reflect. You see? And then, you see, just, first maybe I finish this, you see. Yes. And the four elements themselves are unreal interdependently, they exist interdependently. When you say water element is water, but there's earth, there's fire, there's air. The fire element, we say is fire. I can see the fire. The fire is burning me, but the fire is a fire, but there's also water element, air, earth. So it's interdependent. So if you investigate dust particle, one by one, we cannot find any independent elements. So see these things, meditate on these, and get used to it. See, meditate. So the point is, you see, in the world, everywhere now you see, as earlier I mentioned, there's so much now discussing about retirement. See, when we get old, we know physically become incapable. So we need a good retirement. Relax. Suppose, less worry, good environment. What means? Free from suffering, free from fear. You see, that's the idea. So here, this is exactly the best way how to prepare the retirement. When you get old, less stress, less fear. And great practitioners, highly accomplished in their practice in this, they have no fear. They're prepared to die anytime. If they die today, that's it, okay. I have nothing to fear about it. There's no reservation. So this is the point. So how to achieve the cause to free from the fear, suffering. Okay. Then the number third said the cause and the condition dependence of the method. See, what are their causes and condition, to dispel, to eliminate the confusion. So method to eliminate confusion. So now here, confusion is dispelled when the cause that abides in the basic character, Buddha nature, meet the condition of a qualified lamas or teacher instruction, then taken into a disciple's heart, similar to what happens when ice is exposed to heat. See, you ask, what's the causes and condition to eliminate, to dispel the confusion? So the primary cause is the Buddha nature that we have. See, that's a basic character Buddha nature. It's the basic reality nature. We have that kind of condition, we have that kind of condition. It's called a primary cause condition. Then we need a good teacher, you see, who can explain these teachings. That's called contributory condition, contributory cause. A qualified teacher who studied enough these precious Dharma teachings, not only just studying, but also they went to retreat, meditated, experienced within one's own mind. It's not just went to college, Buddhist college, university, study for some years. It's good, but it's not enough. Need a real good teacher who has these necessary qualities. So important, you see. It's not a matter of you like or dislike. Some say, oh, I like this teacher. I say, he or she is so kind, so nice, It's a good thing, it's a good thing, but not necessarily have all the good qualities, So when you meet such teacher, it's not enough. The teacher cannot solve all your problems. If you meet Buddha right now in front of you, Buddha cannot solve your problem. But how? The instruction, the teaching, see, it's taught, explained. Not with some high expectations, but practically teaching what is the confusion and what's the cause of the confusion and how to eliminate the confusion. Need these direct instructions. And that Now disciples' responsibility need to take into the heart. See, if you don't take that into your heart, it doesn't do any good. Like, very delicious, scrumptious meal prepared on your table. Smells so good, especially when you are hungry, But if you don't eat it, for what? No. What's the benefit is there? But now, when you're hungry, you should eat it. Then you get the benefit. The delicious food is prepared. So likewise, the teaching, the authentic teacher gives the teaching to you and take it into in your heart. Don't say, I don't like it. Don't say it is too much. So your ego can come from different way. It manipulates you. No, you should be smart enough to see that your tricky ego, what the ego says. Then you should have such a discernment, wisdom to see it and accept it and eat it, digest it, put into practice, get the benefit. This is a very important point, you see. As I mentioned, it's not as something like Buddhist thing. Everything is based on the reason, you see. It's not just a belief. That's why Buddha said, don't follow my teaching blindly. You investigate it and you practice it. You follow it. So you see, this is why the teachings are so precious and important. This is an example here, similar to what happens when ice is exposed to heat. There's a big piece of ice nowadays in the summer, and it just you put on the rock, in the hot spot in the rock, and as soon as the heat is exposed to the ice melts. So the ice of confusion is melt into the water of the natural mind. See, our Buddha nature is frozen in the confusion. So that frozen ego need to be melted into the wisdom of the emptiness. And meditate on this, practice this, and you get all the benefit. See. So now make every effort to put into practice the instructions. The authentic teacher explain all the details. Now it's your responsibility to put into practice as much as you can. No instruction of a benevolent spiritual teacher, skill in means, a teacher who has such loving kindness, compassion, who cares how to develop yourself. So you should acknowledge that. You should appreciate instead of being a defensive, Sometimes when the teacher said this is, no, this is not that way, this is not that way, you are so defensive. Then arguing back and forth. It's not so healthy. No. You have to open your heart fully and get the benefit. As I mentioned, make your mind as a space. Nowadays, not so much. Before they say, oh, this Lama knows the Western mind, This Lama doesn't know so much Western mind. That sometimes, of course, the Lama who cannot communicate Dharma teaching properly, then maybe he's talking about some individual different countries' culture, But if anybody who speaks the Dharma is universal. As I mentioned, the ignorance is the ignorance. There's no such called American ignorance or, Asian ignorance or Chinese ignorance, You see, ignorance is ignorance. Ego is ego, Attachment is attachment. Anger is anger, It doesn't it doesn't make demarcation. Samsara is whole samsara, So understand that. Then here some quotations here, some beautiful quotations. These also are translated into the book, my old book, first old book, Preflex, in that have these quotations. Dharma Lord Rinchen Pel, Ranashiri, Lord Jigten Sumgon Ranashiri has taught, phantom man fought mirage rivers. Is there any phantom man? It's just phantom. It's just a phantom. That's not real. And there's any river, a mirage river, there's no. But it's beautiful, you see, a phantom man fought mirage rivers. Sky lotuses are sipped from by dream bees. See, sky lotus, beautiful. Have you heard when some individual dies, great teacher dies, flowers coming from the sky? You see how, it can happen that. So sky lotuses are sipped from by dream bees. Your dream bee is sipping the honey from the lotus that coming from the sky. Okay, looks so beautiful, Barren woman's son sing the Gandharvas, the smell eaters, Gandharvas songs. This smell eaters city, town, is not exist. Song. Barren woman has no child. So beautiful, you see, barren woman's sons sing the Gandharva songs, and the ultimate may be realized in the midst of busy activities. See, ultimate, your realization of Mahamudra. So, you can practice Mahamudra in the busy life. Says, not so possible, not so easy for the beginner, especially for the beginner, it's not so easy because you have to have karma abiding, shamatha meditation. But some, these are the saying of childish, means unrealized, not realized ultimate nature. Ones devoid of experience and realization, those who have no realization, no experience of the meditation, the childish, they say this, the ultimate will realize in your busy life. So now what we need, yes, when our minds stainless and virtuous melt into the sublime Dharma, you see, when you receive like this kind of teaching, You got it. Yes, it makes sense. Now my mind, my mind is melting into this Dharma. So now, how should I sustain that? See, the forest of great bliss flourishes on the non-dual mountains. You see, you go to the mountain, meditate there, and then you experience the samadhi. And then you see, you experience the great bliss of the meditation. The inner bliss, free from all the fear, free from the confusion, mental affliction. When these mental afflictions are dissolved into emptiness in the clarity nature, then mind has such great bliss. Or mind nature itself is bliss. And then there's a clarity, non-conceptual thoughts there. So you see, on the non-dual mountain, undistracted, you see, mindful, undistracted, mindful deer. So the deer here, the metaphor as mindful. See, the mindful deer graze here, consuming the grass and the water of bliss, clarity, and non-conceptuality. So the mindfulness of deer is roaming freely on the mountain, grazing the grass of the great bliss, clarity, and non-conceptuality. The mind is so peaceful, see, and no fear, see. Seeking solitude. So do you really want to achieve this solitude? This is the place, no? This is the place you should choose. I, the yogin, now Jigten Sumgon says, I, the yogin, will keep to this mountain retreat. So I will keep this mountain in the retreat. Here, retreat means retreat from the conceptual thoughts, from the confusion. Okay, it doesn't mean physically retreat for somebody else, but retreat your mind from the duality, from the confusion, and maintain the mind of the wisdom, compassion, as it is. So you see, so this is such a beautiful, Avoid the first paragraph and follow the second paragraph. So reflect on these. These are such a precious teaching, you see. That's why he gathered hundreds and thousands of disciples, you see. He was not deluding individuals, but leading all his disciples to the right place, to free from the samsara. So meditate on this, you see, look at this. Each and every this you read, contemplate, then just contemplate whether it makes sense or not, and then meditate, and just your mind introduce into this, meditate, you see, be mindful, appreciate, see, so precious. Now, number 4, when confusion may be reversed, means the confusion turn into the wisdom, or confusion dawn as the wisdom. When, see, we of the 6 realms with the good body support of leisure and endowment. See, who are also possessed of faith will renounce the samsaric state, you see. So if you ask when anybody can reverse or down the confusion as the wisdom. So when you have precious human life, see, leisure and endowment, you know, it's very popular. Everybody knows this. There are 8 leisures and 10 endowments. So total 18 favorable conditions. You see, that's called precious human life. With that, see, who are also possessed of faith, devotion to the Buddha Dharma Sangha. You know, there are 3 types of faith. The faith of confidence or trust, the faith of trust, and the longing faith, and the clear faith. First, you see the faith of trust. You know the karma, the cause for peace and happiness, the cause for the suffering. The mental afflictions are the cause of suffering. And the absence of the mind of all this mental affliction is for peace and happiness. You know these things. It makes now clear. So that's called the faith of trust. You trust the causality. You know, when you follow the path, right path, you will achieve the cessation. You have that kind of faith. Then longing faith means you are longing to free from samsara. You are longing to achieve enlightenment. You need that. No, that's called faith. I have a faith, desire to achieve enlightenment. I have a faith to free from samsara. Then the faith, the clearer faith means you see Buddha is enlightened, free from all the delusions, free from all the suffering. So you have such a kind of clear mind to the Buddha. And you have faith to the Dharma. Dharma is the path that I take, which will help me to reduce all my cause of suffering. So these kind of faith we need. With the body, which has 18 favorable conditions. So this is the time that we need to study, practice Dharma. It's the right time. Otherwise, you look at the animals, there are some animals that are suffering so much. You feel, how I can help that? It's suffering so much. Really, torturing. So I feel like how it can deserve that. But I cannot help because it doesn't have the condition. I only develop compassion. And then I say prayers. One day that person, that animals, free from that, and then achieve the human life and study, practice Dharma. You see? When I see some animals who are suffering so much, it breaks my heart. So what should I do? I'm helpless. So that's why we who have this precious human life, now we should understand how precious it is. We can't waste this. No. So we created such a karma from our previous life to achieve this human life. So say, I'm so grateful. My last life, I just made something good. Now, because of that, I made Dharma in this life. Now, this life, I must make better, do better, progress, not decline. Don't throw myself into the hell realm. So, nobody can throw us in the hell realm except by myself. So I better not do this. I must study, practice Dharma. See? So that is we will then have an opportunity to wear the armor of perseverance in the sublime Dharma, you see, and free ourselves from the ocean of suffering. So we should wear the armor. We need some invincible armor, determination, faith that nobody can destroy. So we should make this, now in the mind, we should make this determination. No matter what happens, I only go forward, Dharma study practice. Now there's nothing to go backwards. I go forward. I cannot derail from the path. No. I must practice. So you just develop yourself. No. This great determination. I have the precious human life. No. Well, I having the Buddha nature. See? So that there's a possibility how to free from the suffering. Now this next line says, leisure and endowments are difficult to find. Now this you can read the Jewel Ornament of Liberation, and there are many other books explain that. You see, the word of my perfect teacher, they all explain this, how it is difficult to find this precious human life. Recognizing the importance of this precious life, be smart and strive for ease of freedom. So we must try to the ease of freedom, to achieve the freedom, to achieve the enlightenment. With the supreme bodhicitta, relative and absolute. So bodhicitta is the highway towards enlightenment. As I mentioned, bodhicitta is not just something Buddhist thing. It's a universal, a special cause, a highway to achieve the freedom from samsara, to achieve the Dharmakaya. So this relative and absolute. Relative means we develop step by step. And that what we are developing step by step will purify by the absolute bodhicitta. And without distraction to matters of this life alone. So don't just attach to this life. In the world now, everybody is making effort for this, only for this life. How to become rich in this life. How to become famous in this life. Because of that, you have to build such a strong ego. Self-grantize yourself. When you maximize your all self-grasping, then there's a possibility to become so rich, so famous, so powerful, but that itself is a temporary, doesn't last long. So if we make effort for the enlightenment, as much as we make effort for only this life, I think the enlightenment is not so far. The enlightenment is just only to reduce our habit of the confusion, habit of the delusion. Just need to reduce that. Even before enlightenment, where you're on the path, there's great peace, great happiness is there. See? Okay. So this is when confusion may reverse or dawn into the wisdom. Now, number 5. When what remains after confusion has been eliminated. So now you see all this confusion we have, when that is eliminated, purified, what is there left? It's just mere empty? It's just mere illusory nature? Or what, There's some people say, sometimes there's Buddhists are so negative, First they will talk about the suffering, All are suffering, everybody is suffering, Then after that they will talk illusion, everything's illusion, Then after that they will say emptiness, nothing, empty, Now what? So negative they say, But it's not only that. There's little more than that. We should understand, how much great joy is there. How much great peace is there. How much great fearlessness is there. Courage, wisdom, compassion is there, you see. So now this will, here, I'll read it. When our minds stainless, the mode of abiding manifests. Manifest means manifest from the delusion or reveal from the confusion. With the unification of awareness and emptiness, you see. Awareness is your understanding. And emptiness, you see, there's no independent existence. Everything is illusory nature. There's, this innate, ordinary awareness is what is called confusion dawning as wisdom. You see, the 4th Dharma of Kyobypa, this is what is known. All this confusion we have, delusion we have, we are so, as I mentioned, we are so ingrained within this confusion and bewilderment, delusion, and then because of that kind of pernicious, difficult to get out of it, and the suffering is so much there. But as soon as he mentioned the awareness and emptiness, means the wisdom of the realization of emptiness, directly manifest, revealed, then all the confusion are just known as wisdom. Means confusion is not transformed into something, no. Confusion is the one is called non-existence. The mental afflictions, these are just like a cloud, just manifest, but it abides within in the non-existence. Look at the cloud in the sky. You see the cloud, but when it disappears slowly, it disappears into emptiness. When you have enough mindfulness and strength of the mind, look at your mind. When there's anger, where is the anger? Aversion, which just manifested in my mind, it exists nowhere. See, neither inside the body, nor outside the body, nor in between. So that's what's called that very anger, aversion, that which just manifested, exists nowhere. As soon as when you realize this, then we are free. We are free from the aversion. So that our mind has totally achieved freedom. So that kind of wisdom that dawn within us is come from nowhere, but it is within us. But it's all just, or you should call unconfined vastness. It's all that reality nature. See, that's what remains after confusion has been eliminated, you see. And we have another verse about this. Unstoppable, mere dawning self-luster. See, in your mind, the thoughts you cannot stop. Manifestation, all they manifest. Now that all manifested as interdependently. So self-luster is the basis of interdependence, you see. Not independent, it's interdependent. Just relate to the different objects, different conditions, the thought manifest. You cannot stop those thoughts. It just manifests. Non-establishment of any existence or non-existent is emptiness. That all manifestation, which you cannot stop, but that itself exists nowhere. That is called emptiness. The very, the activities of these mental thoughts exist nowhere. Their nature is emptiness. Now, if you ask, are these two separate? One is, it's called unstoppable, mere dawning self-luster. That and exists nowhere. It looks like two totally different. One is manifesting, one exists nowhere, That is it. Unified. They do not abide as one or separate, you see. That unstoppable manifestation of these mental thoughts, their nature itself is emptiness. And that emptiness itself is manifested. It's neither one nor two, but it's inseparable. It's just play of the enlightenment. You just meditate on this, you see. But you need such a profound meditation, you see, shamatha. Without shamatha, very difficult to maintain this awareness. Need shamatha and special insight, critical insight. Combine these two together, and then you have the courage, ability to see this way, and confusion has no place. And all mental affliction has no place. So see this and meditate on this. See. Self-disposition, free of directionality and all pervasive basis. So there's no one direction, east, west, up or down. No? There's no direction. It's all pervasive. That's why Buddha knows everything of the past, present, future, now, So it's called, Buddha's called all-knowing. Yet at the same time, in this non-duality. See, there's nothing to grasp, nothing to hold on. It's just play. That's why Buddha's wisdom is infinite. So we just look at this. For this, we're studying, practicing Dharma. Sometimes we're overwhelmed. Oh, Buddha's enlightenment is so much, and I feel so small. How I can achieve that, But don't worry. We have the Buddha nature. Buddha's wisdom is within us. We just need courage, determination to follow the path. See, some small things makes a big difference, you see. So look at this and meditate. Maybe we need short break. Okay, first please reflect what we did. Just reflect on these different topics. See, it's everything like a dream. We just started with that. Awake, this enlightenment is like the a waking state. Samsara is confusion like a dream, and enlightenment is awake from the sleep. Just look at this, Then, like, example, as I mentioned, in the dream, you found a big piece of gold in the dream. Big piece of gold, okay? So you're so kind of inspired, or so you're so happy. So I got such big gold. Now you are planning what I should use this gold to do what, you're planning so much. And then somehow after planning all these things, some like robbery, some robber came and stolen your gold, and you feel so sad. You say, I lost all my dream that I was thinking about. And within that, you awake from the sleep, from the dream. And you say, what a strange dream. I found such a big piece of gold. Now then, it's lost. So initially you don't have gold. In the first place, you don't have gold. And there's nothing to plan, and there's nothing to lose. But in the dream, we have all this dualistic play. In real life, you don't have that piece of gold. Like say in enlightened, in the Samsara, it's like a dream. We have all those fears, all this back and forth, all these things. In the enlightened state, all this purified. Then there's nothing to lose. There's nothing to fear. Achieve the total fearlessness. Just, meditate on this, reflect on this, you'll see. Then we have, see, the time, when, so describe the causes and the condition of the enlightenment, or dispel the confusion of primary cause, Buddha nature, and the contributory cause, spiritual masters, especially the spiritual masters' instruction. Because of we have Buddha nature, so when we study, practice Dharma teachings, we can achieve enlightenment because we have the seed to achieve enlightenment. So meditate on this. Say, I cannot now waste my time. Or say, I cannot please anybody now only for their own ego. I must spend my time for the Dharma study practice and to help others who are interested. So I must bring the Dharma teachings in my heart. That's the issue. That's the most important. As other days I mentioned, Buddha said, you don't worship me, but you practice my instruction. See, when you find there this object is so precious, it has so many things, but still, if you put that very precious thing on your head, what you get? You say, oh, this is so precious. This is this is so holy object. Historically so famous. This. No, there's so many things like that there, And we go around and so these things. But if you don't practice Dharma, it doesn't change us, you see. As I mentioned, you go to Bodh Gaya as a tourist, not as a Buddhist. You go to Bodh Gaya, go there as a tourist. Go around, see the stupa, see the seat where Buddha enlightened, and this tourist guide, they will explain all this is what happened. And those tourists, in their mind, they have information where Buddha enlightened, but they went to the seat where Buddha enlightened, but it didn't make any difference in their mind. unless they make effort. See? So these holy, pure objects, of course they're precious. But if you don't make Dharma practice, it doesn't help, no matter how holy. So Dharma is the most precious that we need to practice. So rely on that. That's why as Buddha mentioned, Dharma is like the medicine. When you get sick, you take the medicine. Because we are the mental afflictions. We are like patients. So to release from that problem, we need to study, practice Dharma, bring into your heart. And Dharma becomes relevant, you see. Otherwise, this is some Buddhist thing, This is what Buddhists believe. So nowadays, the world is so sophisticated, a lot of educated people, more complex than other time. Before, people have so much devotion, they don't have much questions. When some high lama, high teachers say this is this, okay, so pure, so precious. You see, go here, get blessing, we say that. But now there's a lot of superstitious. People think differently, why it is so holy, why it's so pure, So for this, Dharma is indispensable. There's always answer any question that exists in the world. See? So then what we have is the confusion is reversed when we have the precious human life, which has the 18 favorable conditions with faith or devotion. Then we have all the possibilities, all the opportunity to study, practice the Dharma. So this human body, what we have, is like the boat, which can help us to cross the ocean of samsara, or like an aeroplane. We fly aeroplane from one continent to another continent. As a Dharma teaching, that we practice from samsaric continent to the enlightened continent. Study, practice Dharma teachings. So we need this precious human body. When we have it, then should not appreciate, but should not attach to it, but rather use it to study, practice Dharma, especially bodhicitta. When this confusion is totally eliminated or purified or realized totally as the primary wisdom, then all mental afflictions are disappeared. Only remain is called the wisdom dawn. Now the wisdom dawn as it is. That means there's nothing to achieve from outside. Only you reveal total nature of yourself. Perfectly revealed. There's nothing is remain now. That is the call enlightenment state, Buddhahood. That's why when Buddha achieved enlightenment, at the time, Buddha said, I realize, I reveal total profound and total peace. So this is a peace. As I mentioned, we all innately we like to have peace. It's because Buddha nature is total peace. So profound, total peace, free from all elaboration. And it's not just emptiness, it's luminosity, means clear. And it's uncompounded. Nobody made it. It's because it's inborn. It's the reality nature, who you are. So Buddha said, when Buddha enlightened, he said this. So all our Dharmasrati practice is to realize this. So I'm sure many of you are getting some experience of this benefit. When you meditate, you feel so comfortable. So all your body, mind, more relaxed. See, when your mind is within you, there's such great peace, harmony, you see. As soon as the mind goes outside, there's anxiety, fear, dualistic thoughts, all there, you see. This is called artificial thoughts. So that's what within meditate. Okay. So now please take a deep breath. Inhale fully. And exhale. Om Banza Sato Samaya Manopalaya Banza Sato Tenaba Dida Membawa Sudo Kayo Membawa Subu Kayo Anorada Membawa Sarvasite Me Prayata Sarva Karma Sutta Me Zeta Shreya Guru Hung Ha 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 Baka Sarvata Dhangadam Banzarma Mimanzam Barzimbaw Ma Samaya Sato. Okay, please make a short break, 10-15 minutes.
Hi Rinpoche, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
You're good?
Yes, I am. So how's situations in America right now?
Okay, please take a deep breath fully and exhale. Just relax, and then we go through the rest. Now here we are in the number 6, the opposite of confusion. You know confusion? Now opposite of confusion, being here, I will just read the Tibetan. Kyobypa Jigten Sumgon. Actually, the full translation is this: the Tuba Chidran Dopa, Tuba Chidran Dopa, how confusion is reversed physically. So now, the omniscient wisdom that realizes the mode of abiding, you see, the omniscient wisdom means the all-knowing wisdom. All-knowing means the two types of wisdom. Wisdom knowing as it is, and wisdom knowing everything. So there's two. So that's called omniscient wisdom that realizes the mode of abiding, how it constituted by its own nature, with causes and condition. So emptiness is not conditional. Emptiness is as it is. We are not making empty, but as it is. But within the emptiness, everything manifests, as earlier mentioned, unstoppable manifestations. That So they realize the mode of abiding comprehends in the Dharma spheres. Dharma spheres means called Dharma element, or so all-pervading Dharma, all-pervading phenomena, which is the emptiness. So Dharmata, or Dharma sphere. Dharma instances means all this manifestation within in the emptiness. See, in all their complexities, all those possibilities is very complex. Just say, to make one cup of tea, just small a cup of tea, it needs so many conditions. You see, first of all, tea itself, we need pot, water, fire, place. And now water, you get the water. How much they need, how many things in the water to compose water? Then you see, tea itself, to create a small bag of tea, how much conditions are there? And the pot, and then person who knows it. So this is infinite. That's why it's called in one dust particle contains the whole universe. Whole universe is pervaded by one dust particle. See, it's called very complex. That's the reality nature. So in all their complexity, integrated body mind has no fixation on their one. So it is all just integrated, many causes, conditions, but there's no fixation. So when you see that reality nature, there's no fixation on either one. No clinging attachment to the body, nor to awareness, emptiness, mind as it is. So there's nothing to attach to. See? Because your mind realized the nature of the body. The body is just a manifestation of your mind. Your mind created the causes and conditions. From that, the body is formed. So when you're perceiving your body as something solid, it's your mind. When you realize your body as an emptiness nature, it's your mind, you know. But when the mind is confused and attached to your body, there will come suffering attached to body. But when you realize your mind, your body is just composed of the mind, it's just causes condition, and you have no suffering. See, that's why I say there's no clinging attachment to the body, no to awareness, emptiness. Mind is also no attachment to the mind. See, no grasping, no fixation, totally freedom. That's what it means, you see, fear and see, hope and fear. When you are very subtle, clinging, grasping, there's a fear to lose it because you are grasping. When you release that grasping, when you realize total freedom, then there's no fear, no hope, you see. So this is, you see, is the reality nature. But Buddha, who realized this absolute way, total freedom, so Buddha knows everything. When you have no grasping, no clinging, no fear, your mind is totally like nature of the space, pervading, rich to all the knowledge. When there's a fixation, grasping, then you are trapped. Even Bodhisattvas in the 10th Bhumi have subtle fixation, subtle obscuration. Because of that, they don't have such kind of wisdom as the Buddha has. Buddha totally eliminated all the leftover or rest of the, obscuration, most subtle. See, that's easy. So Buddha has no attachment to the body and no attachment to the mind, totally free. So no fear, no hope. The omniscient wisdom that unifies the true truth, is a relative truth, absolute truth. Unified means it's not something like we unify it, but it is already within in that unification. That what is visible itself is emptiness. That emptiness itself is within in that visible. See? So that's called true truth. Has no attachment to retinue or relatives. So Buddha has no attachment to his relative or to his retinue. But he taught all the teachings out of that compassion. Sometimes when you say Buddha has no attachment to his teaching, to his retinue or his disciple, looks like a Buddha doesn't care. You know, Buddha doesn't care the sentient beings. That's totally wrong, you know. Buddha cares all the sentient beings. As I mentioned, not just only Buddhist. Buddha cares every sentient beings, smallest insect. You know? Everyone is within the Buddha's wisdom. And that's why Buddha taught teachings to all sentient beings. But Buddha has no attachment. We should know that, you see. Means Buddha has no attachment. Attachment means to oneself. When you attach to somebody else, you care yourself. Or means you have attachment to yourself. So Buddha achieved the total freedom, perfect state. So there's no fear, there's no hope. That's called subtle, free from the hope and fear. No attachment, you see. So, and no aversion to any enemy or victimizer. Buddha has no aversion. Anybody who comes insults Buddha, so you are wrong. Buddha has no any reservation on that. Totally free, because Buddha has no fear. Even Devadatta throws rock on the Buddha. Buddha's response is only compassion, love to Devadatta. I wish he has all happiness. I wish he is free from all the suffering. So that's what we're taking the step. Now we're following the steps of the Buddha. We go through study, practice step by step, follow the path. And these teachings are such a precious teaching. All are equal in the Dharma expands. How wonderful, you see. Everything is equal. There's no bad or good. No. In that Dharma expanse means all pervading element of the phenomenon. Non-confined vastness. Just look at this, meditate. That's our goal to achieve the Buddhahood. So Mahamudra doesn't mean nothing, empty. Mahamudra means free from all the delusions, obscurations. It's inseparable of the luminosity and emptiness. That's why Buddha can manifest unceasingly to benefit all sentient beings until the end of the samsara. Okay. Now, 7. The result of reversed confusion. Now, what is result that to achieve? It's just only emptiness, or what? This is a very important point. Now here, some going step by step. Okay, please understand. As we went first, the method to eliminate that way. Riding the horse of unexcelled bodhicitta, or riding the car, driving the car, riding the car of unexcelled bodhicitta. As you mentioned, bodhicitta is highway. Means our Buddha nature. The relative bodhicitta is total direct method to reveal the absolute bodhicitta which is within us. But first we need the relative bodhicitta. To cultivate the relative bodhicitta, we need to say the prayers of the four immeasurable. May all mother sentient beings have happiness and causes of happiness, you see. May all sentient beings free from suffering and causes of suffering. First we say this prayer. Remind we are abiding in the samsara because of the kindness of all the mother sentient beings. And they all desire for peace and happiness. They all desire to free from suffering. So because of this, now I need to cultivate bodhicitta, to attain the Buddhahood, to benefit all sentient beings. I work hard to repay the kindness of the sentient beings. So we meditate on these, practice on these. So this is writing the wholes of unexcelled bodhicitta, encouraged by the whip of undistracted mindfulness. See, always need mindfulness. Mindfulness doesn't mean narrow mind, uptight, but relaxed, conscious. You're always in the rested state of the body and mind. So it's called undistracted. Means always relaxed, calm. See that glove, or you raise the car, cross the plane of 10 grounds and 5 paths. You know, the 10 grounds, 10 bhumis, from first bhumi to 10th bhumi, 10 bhumis, and 5 paths, the path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, path of meditation, and then the perfect or perfection path. So go through this step by step, you see. You raise the car like that, or you glove the horse of bodhicitta, the car of the bodhicitta. Go through this. Then it's, and arrive easily to the jewel island of the 3 kayas. Then you arrive the 3 kayas, Dharmakaya, Sambhokaya, Nirvana kaya. The realization of the emptiness itself is Dharmakaya. That is not just mere empty affirmation. It's all the manifestations of the Buddha's activities are manifest from that Dharmakaya. In the pure form, Sambhokaya. And the general practitioners call Nirmanakaya, the emanation body, enjoyment body, Kaya. And then next paragraph or verse is, firm and deep are the wish-granting trees, root. So the wish-granting tree is called Paksam Shing, a tree which grants all the wishes. Maybe your smartphone, your smartphone is wish-granting. So, firm and deep, you see, that wish-granting tree, deeply rooted under the ground. It's far, deep, trees of root of the three trainings. You see, three training, the training of the morality, the training of the samadhi, meditative concentration, the training of special insight. So these three training is like a wish-granting tree. So precious, you see. So Dharma is, you see, you can see in the world, most precious is the Dharma, you see. As I mentioned, it's not just a Buddhist, but for everybody. Nobody likes to be harmed. Just the three training, you see. Morality. Morality means avoiding all the non-virtue, means harming, the cause for the suffering. Get rid of those and build all the cause for peace and happiness for oneself and others. You see, that's the kind of Buddha's wisdom. That's the Dharma we need nowadays, everywhere. It's not that just you believe or don't believe this. No, these all are just secondary. So you see, then you need samadhi, means relax mind, calm your mind, where you are. Release all this dualistic conflict and get a special insight, understanding, right. You say wisdom that makes sense. Say this is the right cause for peace and happiness. This is the wrong cause, which brings the suffering. So understand these things, special insight. We need these three training everywhere. Even when you cook, we need these three training. You cook properly, you see. Don't chop your finger when you cut your vegetables. You need to cook enough, right? Not too cooked, not raw. No. You have that kind of wisdom to know how to cook well. So the training, when you drive, you need this training. How you drive, speed you take, sign you look, it's all discipline. Then you need concentration, how you drive. And then you know where you're reaching. You need wisdom, awareness. See, three training is not just only Buddhist thing. In the whole world, we need this three training to accomplish our goal. See, so precious, you see. So please refresh your mind how Dharma is so precious. Not just because it's not just because I'm a Buddhist, not just that way. It's precious for everybody. So look at this, and then you the three trainings. Then it branches and leaves the twofold bodhicitta flourish infinitely. With this three training, like the wish-granting tree, it has branches and leaves. So branches and leaves of bodhicitta flourish all the direction, reaches to every sentient beings. Like say, when you have a dog, when you have a dog in the family, there's four, five family members. Anyone who cares the dog will go to that person. The dog will not go to the person who hits, who beats the dog, even animals, So bodhicitta, at your house, you just practice. At your room, you practice bodhicitta to all sentient beings. And that kind of it has such a great ability, can manifest in your house, go out of the house and to your village, town, city, to the country, Even you chant one mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, you chant for all sentient beings. That's what the bodhicitta is about. It's not just being nice, good, like that, It's something courageous, based on wisdom, based on reason. See, that infinitely, to every sentient beings, blooming beautifully at its flower of unified generation and completion, means Vajrayana practice. Then the Vajrayana practice, generation, you generate deity, and then completion practice. That practice, the flower, so beautifully bloomed. It's not just only chakra and channels, but how you manifest into the deity form, like Chenresi, Tara. And then within that, purify all the obscurations. So beautiful, purify all our obscurations. We need a lot of purification. We need a lot of purification. Purify our negative habits. We need to purify all negative karmas as much as we can. It's our own benefit. But this Buddha taught how to do that impartially, you see. Buddha's teaching is impartial, shares by every sentient beings. We need this, method, skill, wisdom. And its fine fruits are three kayas to benefit for migrators, you see. Through these practices, then it brings the fruit of the three kayas. Yourself, to free from all the suffering, you achieve the Dharmakaya. Then to benefit other sentient beings, Sabokaya, enjoyment bhati, Nirvana Kaya, emanation bhati. See, you look at this, that's the result of the practice. When you practice, these are the benefit we get. So precious, you see. That's why we need to study Dharma. Not just only chant mantra, chant mantra, chant mantra. Chant mantra is okay. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's fine. But Dharma is more than that. See, study these, understand. And then you can explain with others, you see. For yourself, maybe okay. But to benefit others, we need this wisdom. To share with others. To dispel the confusion. To dispel the misunderstanding. To dispel the misinformation. Sometimes they say, oh, Dharma is it, that, But Buddha's teaching is all are nothing but wisdom. All are nothing but peace. See? Start with the peace. As soon as when you take refuge, their teaching is don't harm other sentient beings. You take that path, and total, when you achieve Dharmakaya, is total peace. It's called unafflicted peace. all the delusions, harmful thoughts are dissolved into that wisdom, peace. And then next, Dharmakaya, all pervasive, unrevealed, luminous Mahamudra is the describing Mahamudra. Mahamudra is pervasive, pervades whole phenomena, Samsara and Nirvana. Everything is within the Mahamudra, in the pure nature. And there's no higher than that. That's called unrevealed. It's not just mere empty, but luminous Mahamudra. The mode abiding of our own non-arising mind. See, that is our mind itself. The absolute nature of your mind is the Mahamudra. That's called the mode of abiding. That's why you need to relax, keep your mind calm, peaceful, and release all this dualistic thought. More you can abide in your mind as it is closer your mind to that Mahamudra realization. See, so then, on non-arising mind, means unborn mind, which means unafflicted, see, uncontrived mind. See, that called confusion dawning as wisdom, as earlier also I mentioned. This was called confusion dawning as wisdom. All the confusions are just a confusion. As earlier mentioned, was our head is spinning confusion within the confusion. So that itself, when you have this kind of wisdom, the confusion exists nowhere. All the confusion becomes baseless and it's nothing but wisdom. Then, it's wisdom and the enlightened qualities of separation and maturation, all parts wholly completed. Here, separation means all the delusions that's called, obscuration of the karma, obscuration of the mind, subtle obscurations. It's all are purified. That's called separation. You are separated from all this obscuration. Totally purified all the obscurations. Maturation means all the excellent qualities that you have matured, like say, fruit is now fully ripened, matured, ready to eat. So all the excellent qualities are fully blossomed, all parts, wholly completed. Now nothing is missing. That's the fruit, result of the practice. Our Dharma practice, you see. Now, once you become Buddha, then you can play all the qualities, you see, as it is. Because you are free from all the imputed exaggerations, artificial fabrications, all the chemicals are now purified. Within that enlightened state, then you can play all your qualities without reservation. See, in a single atom, are all atoms of the universe, you see, in a single dust particle can contain all the particles of the universe. That single dust particles is not bigger, whole universe is not smaller, but perfectly just there. It's beyond our imagination. Because we have a limitation. So our limited mind cannot measure these unlimited qualities, you see. Sometimes you may say, I disagree. Of course, you can disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. But your disagreement may be wrong, you know. So we should have such kind of ability to perceive this kind of reality nature. So that's with that example, know one object of knowledge. When you know one object of knowledge and be expert then in all, see, and be expert in them all. When you know one thing, you know everything. You know the straw, see, a bamboo straw. When you know a straw, one straw, there's thousands of straw and bundle. When you know one is hollow, inside hollow, empty, you know, then you know all are hollow, empty. So like that, when you know one thing, you know everything. That's saying, know one object of knowledge and be expert in them all. Know them all and understand that one. When you know everything, then you know everything into one. See how beautiful it is now, you see. So that's what Miller ever said, you see. I know one, so now I'm omniscient of all knowledge, he said. When you know your mind perfectly, then you know all the mind of the sentient beings. You don't have to go to each person, you know, so where's your mind, where's your mind, where's your mind, you know? Because all the nature of the mind is the same. Now to this, you know, so Milarepa is the best example. So now you see, Milarepa, you see, he started with the ordinary person. He struggled his life. His father died when he was so young. Then his family, or his relatives tortured their family. And then his mother died. And he went through such a difficult life. Then he met Marpa. And then Marpa tortured him. And he went through this. Finally, after going all those astrology, or all these difficulties, like Hellram, finally Marpa accepted him and give all the Dharma teachings perfectly. And then he went through all the practice, you see, step by step. For him, now, Dharma is the only one answer to solve his suffering. He knows that. That's why he did it. And he did it with gratitude, with such a feeling of grateful, with feeling of most fortunate. So because of this, causeless condition. Then he achieved enlightenment as what is described. So then he, you see, he can play all this. When you, which I told many times, to demonstrate his disciple Rechungpa, he went into the yak horn or buffalo horn. He fit in that horn spaciously, and horn was not bigger, he was not smaller. See, because he totally realized emptiness, interdependent nature. And he was on the leg of the Mamsarava, next to Mount Kailash. He was not bigger, leg was not smaller, but perfectly he covered all the leg. It's unimaginable for us, for our limited mind is unimaginable because we are so limited. But Milarepa mind is not limited. He could expand all his mind, and he's demonstrated all those. So that's we see. It's not something methodology. Still we can achieve. Now in the scientific way, the science also they say now, through the quantum physics theory, so that's, Dharmakaya, now here, Dharmakaya, the two obscurations are purified to sky-like, so it is pure. So Buddhahood, Dharmakaya is called pure. Pure means purify all adventitious obscurations. True purity means, first, Buddha nature itself is pure, by its own nature pure. But that is not enough. We need to purify the adventitious obscurations. So Dharmakaya is both purified. That's what it's called, pure. It's pure nature. Then all elaboration of self and non-self are pacified, so it has entity. Because there's no self. Of course, there's no self. But if you're holding in the mind, there's no self, grasping non-self is also wrong, Grasping to the self, grasping to the non-self, you have to purify both. Then it becomes that entity, that absolute nature. If you just go one side, then it's a mistake. Then next, Dharma Dhatu has no fluctuation, so it is permanent. Dharma Dhatu, Dharma expands. Dharma as it is, the emptiness of nature never changes. Whether you're the Samsara or Nirvana. That's why it's called permanent. It's not permanent, something exists. That reality nature is permanent. Like the space, you see. The space is permanent, never changes. No matter how much cloud is there, or with cloud, without cloud, the space nature is never changes. Like that, our Dharma Dhatu, the all pervading element of the space, of the mind, is permanent. And its mental body is purified of gross and subtle latent tendencies. Our gross obscurations, and the subtle obscurations, both are purified. First, like say, the first part of accumulation, part of preparation, you purify the gross obscurations. You achieve the samadhi, special insight. So through the synchronicity of the shamatha and special insight, then you realize the gross nature of all this, nothing but empty. And after that, from first bhumi to eighth bhumi, to purify, then subtle or less gross, subtle obscurations to purify. From 8th bhumi to 10th bhumi, you purify all the subtle obscurations. See, that's called the gross and the subtle, latent tendencies. This inveterate propensities are fully purified. And when you achieve Buddhahood, Dharmakaya, it's the total joy. That's why I said, so it is at ease. So these four qualities, please make sure understood. Purity, pure, entity, and permanent, and at ease or great bliss. Unafflicted bliss is called. Okay. Now these are the result, Buddhahood. See? So now you know better Buddha. This helps you how to take refuge in the Buddha. See? Before we become Buddha, we take refuge in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Once you take refuge and practice all these things, you become Buddha. You see, refuge is within you, not outside. Now from this Buddhahood, benefiting sentient beings, infinite. Emanating naturally, you see, no effort you need, naturally, effortless. So without wavering from the sphere of all in one taste, all in one taste. The various Rupakayas train every being. So from the Dharmakaya, then manifests Rupakaya means form body, Sabokakaya, Dharmakaya, infinite, not just one or two, all as needed, from within one taste, without effort, manifests, you see. Pure and impure means sentient beings, those are pure, Sabokakaya, the enjoyment body, great bodhisattvas. They are benefited by this Sabokaya. Impure like we in the world who are so deluded, Buddha emanation body, Nirmanakaya, manifests and benefit sentient beings. So pure and impure. And their enlightened activities, so their enlightened activities benefit all sentient beings. Every possible object of knowledge are as boundless as the sky. Not just only also Sabokaya and Nirmanakaya, but also like from trees, bridges, medicines, When you take medicine, you take as a Buddha's emanation, blessing, you know, Buddha's activities. See? Because all are within in that emptiness. From within emptiness, all these phenomena manifest. So because of that, we can say everything is Buddha's manifestations. See? Until every drop of the ocean of existence is dry up in the north. All this ocean is dried up. Limitless activities of enlightened body, speech, and mind will reach to every sentient being non-conceptually and spontaneously. See, no? Buddha doesn't need effort because fully perfected. Purification, excellent qualities, no? From every point is perfected. So no need kind of non-conceptual thoughts, worries, hope and fear, no need that. So example is like sun, clouds, and earth, you know. The sun rises from the east, light radiates to all on this planet, no need effort. As soon as the sun rises, all the darkness are dispelled. So as long as when we have Buddha's wisdom, our darkness, confusion is dispelled. But until we give rise to wisdom in mind, our confusion, so is there. We are dominated by our confusion. The cloud in the sky brings the rain. The rain moisten the ground and grows the crops, tree, grass. So when Buddha's wisdom comes in our mind, then we develop loving compassion and develop bodhicitta and all the good qualities, peace and happiness manifest. Then the earth, see, the earth is such a, we all living beings, non-human beings, human beings, everyone depend on this earth, this planet. No matter how much we destroy the earth, still continues, continually, give us all that what we need. All the crops grows on the earth. Without the earth, nobody can survive. So look at this. Take this earth as an example. We practice bodhicitta. See. Instead of arguing each other, feel the gratefulness of the earth. The people become rich, billionaires because of the earth. We should feel gratitude, appreciate. So may I be like the earth. May I become the source of all the peace and happiness. See, such a beautiful thing, And then water, you see, without water, nobody can survive. See, these are so precious. No matter how much we pollute the water, still water runs. We, due to our greed, our ignorance, self-grasping, no matter how much we destroy the earth, water, pollute the air, still they are working. So like that, Buddha's wisdom is such a pure water, pure air, no, like the earth. Buddha does nothing but to benefit sentient beings. And we should acknowledge this. And we practice this, bring that in our heart, and make a little difference in the world. Now in the country, there's some other countries, there's a lot of crisis because of this pandemic. Now political crisis, economic crisis. People are writing me, what should we do? I can say, yes, chant mantra, om mani padme hum, this. But I don't say that. What I say is practice the 10 virtues. Buddhist or non-Buddhist, anybody can practice 10 virtues. And I suggest practice loving kindness and compassion. Buddhist, non-Buddhist, everybody can practice that. No, it's such a precious. Then as a Buddhist, you can practice bodhicitta. So these I give suggestions to all others. And you can do your part in your area. No, encourage, practice the 10 virtues. No, it's universal. It doesn't contradict your belief system, culture. No, it only helps everyone. Loving kindness, compassion, everybody appreciates. No one will disagree with that. So universal. And these are the fundamental teachings of Buddha. Buddha expand from this, you see, those are the capital, capital of our practice. Then we capitalize on our practice from this, expand to all other, anywhere you are, any country you are, any place you are. If you can help one person, 2, 3, in your town, and everywhere. So precious. These things must practice. And so regarding the mind's mode of abiding, whoever has not realized it cycles endlessly in samsara. Now, breathing now. This whole text now is a breathing. Our mode of abiding, the mind nature, as it is, when it's not revealed, when it's not realized, then it cycles in the vicious suffering. See? So regarding the mind's mode of abiding, whoever has not realized, revealed, it cycles endlessly in samsara. Samsara is a vicious cycle in the delusion and the suffering. See? So there's samsara. Whoever has realized it is liberated to nirvana. No? One who revealed the mind, the mode of abiding of the mind as it is called nirvana. See? Samsara, one hand, two sides. Okay. Therefore, in the practice of the nature of mind, be diligent. So we should all make effort to train our mind, to realize our mind. Now, in philosophy, they say, you said this, that, this, that, no, this outside there. But all should come to the mind. And then train, practice, meditate on this. You see? Then we get all the benefit. So Samsara, Nirvana is now that. So be diligent. Even though the mode of abiding nature of Samsara, Nirvana is inseparable. Interdependent causality is what dominates on the relative level. So in the absolute, maybe everything's Nirvana. No, in the absolute, everything is play of the Dharmakaya. But in the relative, we cannot ignore. The causality dominates. The virtuous activities brings the peace and happiness. The non-virtuous thoughts and activities will bring suffering. See, this is very important. Nobody can ignore this. Sometimes now some teacher tell students, oh, this is now you are practicing such high now view. In that view, there's no virtue, no non-virtue. So it's just play of the Dharmata. But still you suffer, you know. And we don't want that one. We don't want to create that kind of suffering. So be careful about the causality. This is very precious. No. See, interdependent causality is what dominates on the relative level. And so I composed this brief text in reliance on a pure teaching tradition from the Buddha, from the great teacher, now Indian great master Nagarjuna Asanga, and in Tibet, great teachers like Milarepa, Kyobypa, and Jigten Sumgon. All from these enlightened masters. They taught these pure teachings and relying on their writings, teachings, abbreviated here. Yes. In a way appropriate to various being mental states. So this can help us any levels of the mind, practitioners, practice. So you see, as the other day I mentioned, so this text brought together all this information in a small text, but complete nature of the Nirvana, complete nature of the Samsara, and inseparable nature of the Samsara and Nirvana, and how to achieve Nirvana, how to recognize the Samsara. So I think this text is so precious. As I mentioned, it's precious not because of me, but precious because of the Buddha and then all the great masters. They put together, rely on their teachings. And as I mentioned, because I met such great teachers. I'm very poor practitioner, but the teachers I met really not just famous, sit on the high throne, but who has concrete realization of this total Buddhist teaching. So today I feel so fortunate these last 4 Saturdays, sharing this teaching, those who are interested, who are with us, and also people that I met in the 80s, 90s, still some are with us. I am so appreciative. I feel so good to repay the kindness of everyone. Now, whether I alive or die, I feel so happy. So now what you need is read this again and again and practice continuously. And these are just information, and follow the practice. So precious. So then I write here next. So I'm not that enlightened master here saying I am not well trained in academic subject and have little mastery of these profound points. Understanding, realization. And so my mind remains confused, means still confusion is not dispelled yet, And also that intellectual means, academic means this grammars, all these metaphors, there's so beautiful metaphors are there. I put some, but very little, Therefore, in the presence of the wise bodhisattvas, Buddhas and bodhisattvas, I confess whatever mistakes I may have made. Any mistakes I made, I confess, I purify. Just very important. You see, we should acknowledge our own mistake. Sometimes we're different, our mistake. So I know I didn't do this. No, that's mistake. We should confess our mistake, purify, and bring the wisdom of the Buddha. Sometimes when you say, you made this mistake, no, I didn't do this. You are defending yourself. They want this ego, and not so wise. There's no place in Dharma to come in. So we have to open our heart. All the confusion, all the mistakes that we have need to purify and make a space to come Buddha's compassion, wisdom. So then, now dedication into the mandala of unexcelled bodhicitta. Mandala means complete, perfect, pervasive. The bodhicitta, all pervading. Within that, I bring all my accumulations of virtue, including that of this work. Not only all other sentient beings, virtue, good qualities, bring aid. So that's the one to dedicate. Dedicate to where? So that may I swiftly attain the state of the Vajradhara. May I become Buddha, achieve the Dharmakaya, and engage beneficially with the infinite migrators. May I benefit all sentient beings without reservation. It's so precious, you see. So we should all do this dedication. Not just say, may my business become productive. No. May my wishes are fulfilled. Not just that. Maybe if your wish is to enlighten, to achieve enlightenment, then you can say, my wish is to achieve enlightenment, then that may achieve. But not just simple thing, may I become famous, may I become rich. No. Not just that. So this is, I think we have done very well in time-wise. What I said here is now, see, Samsara and Nirvana, the two sides of the same hand by same hand. Namo Gurupe, I bow down to the lamas of the unequal kindness, whose compassionate hands pluck the migrators from their wandering throughout limitless samsara and set them down in the land of enlightened bliss. All the happiness and samsara, suffering of samsara and nirvana arises from the appearance, emptiness, non-dual nature, to refresh my recollection of the Dharma and that of others as well. I have written these words. I will write these words lying on the congruous teachings. Now, any questions? Okay. Okay.
Khenchen Rinpoche.
What's the Russian question?
I have a question about the chart in the book. You know, on the very next page, you have a chart.
Yes.
And I just want to ask about Akshobhya and Vairochana. You know, often they sometimes switch, you know, based on text, but often Akshobhya is related to blue color and mirror-like wisdom. But in this text, he's related to blue color and Dharma Dhatu wisdom. And then Vairochana is white color, usually, but is associated with ignorance and Dharma Dhatu. You know, they're both like, they switch places. And I just wondered if you could explain your the thought behind this. I want to understand better when I come across this information, why it's one way sometimes and why it's a different way some other time.
Yeah, it's Akshobhya and sometimes Vajrasattva. Akshobhya, Vajrasattva, usually white color and mirror-like wisdom. And Vairochana is a blue color, is called Shujing, Dharma expands wisdom. So that's, now I just clear, this is the clarification. Yeah, Akshobhya is, you know, Migyupa. Yes. And mirror-like wisdom, Vajrasattva. And Vairochana, blue color, Dharma expands, Dharma Dhatu, wisdom. So this is the more clarification.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Rinpoche, I have a question. You hear me? From Bob. It's a very basic question from a low-level practitioner.
Yeah, see, as here mentioned, you know, of course, we need a food, cloth for this body, you know. We need those. It's necessary. But once we have enough, just we feel enough food, cloth, then you just see how Dharma is precious, how Dharma is important. It's not just because of Buddhist, but as mentioned, because how to free from samsara, how to free from suffering, because to achieve enlightenment. So Dharma is such a precious thing that of understanding you have to convince yourself, fully now prepare for that. So then, like I said, 3-year retreat, I think as I mentioned, 3-year retreat is just to finish the course. It doesn't mean you are enlightened in the 3-year. It's just to finish the course. But you have to practice for the rest of your life or until you become Buddha. No, whatever that may take time. So these are the, in your mind, prepare, So those are very important. Shamatha also, you have to bring your mind in the right place and then meditate. Okay? I hope it makes sense. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead, Bob.
Pregunta.
Oh yeah, yes. Okay. Ingrid.
Gracias, Rinpoche, por todo lo que nos has enseñado. Es súper complejo. Espero estudiarlo mucho más. Mauricio, ¿me ayudas? Porfa, a comentar. Gracias. Y la pregunta es,
Where's the translator?
si todo es la manifestación de causas y consecuencias creadas por la mente, ¿cómo surgen las deidades? ¿En dónde están? ¿Son manifestación de qué?
Okay, qué bueno.
Gracias.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Who's?
¿Me escucharon?
Deities. Yes. When you practice the deity, then you become deity. So this is your manifestation. Now, like say you become, when you practice Tara, you become Tara deity. So Tara is your manifestation.
Perfecto, gracias, Rinpoche. Bendiciones.
Oh, qué bueno. Yes, Bob, you have.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes.
This is a very beginning practitioner question.
Okay, doesn't matter.
At the beginning, you talked about all the fires all around. So what came to my mind is when someone is in the middle of the fire and their skin is burning, how do they see that as emptiness?
That is, you see, depending to the individual practitioner. Okay. Like me, as a beginner, it is like a hell run. Okay, my skin is burned and I'm suffering so much and I don't know what to do. It's just burning, I'm suffering terribly. It's like a hell run. But now those who practices well, everything is illusory nature. Even your whole body system is just manifestation, and you practice enough, and you experience everything's nothing but illusory nature. Then yes, you are burning by fire, but in the mind you don't have that much suffering. See, your mind is, because you realize your whole system is nothing but illusory nature. So your body is illusory nature, the fire is illusory nature. So there's not that much suffering. Okay. And then those who are highly accomplished, perfected practice, there's no suffering. But the fire is burning the body. So that's why it's the individual level of the practitioner.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Rinpoche, I have a question.
Okay.
Hello. Can you explain again the entity of Dharmakaya? So how is Dharmakaya, how do you understand it having entity?
You ask how you can identify Dharmakaya.
Oh, I see.
Will you ask that? Yes, can you explain me how to identify Dharmakaya? So he said, Dharmakaya is state of the beyond self and selflessness. That reality nature. There's no self because it's beyond the self. But it's not just only beyond, beyond or no self, because initially there's no self. So it's beyond these two boundaries, self, no self. Okay? It's called non-duality.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Rinpoche.
Yes,
TK
Mr.
on here.
Om.
Hello.
Yeah,
Can I ask you something?
what's that?
You have you say purify the mental afflictions, the direct cause of suffering, with practice of the generation completion method, wisdom divine form.
Yes.
So, for example, how do you purify, let's say, anger affliction with this, with this practice of generation completion method, wisdom divine form?
You see, your anger, you should not just only you, but the person you have the anger.
Okay.
So yourself dating, like say Chandresik. No.
Okay.
And then the person next to you is also Chandresik.
Oh.
So how you can have anger to the Chandresik?
Oh, okay. So you visualize them as Chandresik.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
You know, but it's very difficult to do that.
it's a very simple thing.
Eh?
It's very simple thing. It's not complicated.
If they do something to me, like I'm very angry with them, I don't see them as
Then
Chandresik.
you should see the blessing of Chandresik.
Ah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's okay. I see. Thank you. Thank
So
you.
your problem is solved.
It's my problem, I suffer.
Yes. Yes.
Nhiều quá chả nhớ được cái gì đâu mà hỏi.
Okay. Now we are done. Yeah, yes.
We have one more.
Yeah, Buddhismo Tara, Drikung Tara Chuling. Yes. What question you have?
Gracias, Su Eminencia. Mauricio, por favor, ayúdame. ¿Cuál debiera ser nuestra visión hacia personas torturadoras, personas violentas, malvadas, que provocan mucho sufrimiento en el mundo. ¿Tenemos que hacer alguna acción o bastaría con, digamos, orar por esta situación? ¿Cómo deberíamos portarnos como un buen bodhisattva en este sentido cuando vemos cosas en el mundo tan violentas, tan terribles y sobre todo líderes tan malos? ¿Se puede entender?
Yeah, that's why you see, first of all, when you study and understand the message of the Buddha, you see, as I mentioned, not just being kind, humble, thing, but decisive, to understand causality in whole system. As I mentioned, it's not just Buddhist thing, but whole in the world, you see. The causality shares by everybody, you see. So that, you see, you can get the message of the Buddha, the cause of suffering, the ego, self-grasping, and power mongering, who mongers the power. And then see, how that brings the suffering in the world. So look at this. And then you develop such a great compassion, those individuals who are suffering under this condition. And right now, I have no ability to solve the problem, but I must study, practice the Dharma. I must practice the bodhicitta. No, not only just this life, but life after life, to benefit all sentient beings wherever I am, not just only to Chile or United States, everywhere, So that's how to start, first your mind. So then, I will cultivate the mind that I may have such great skill how to resolve these all conflict and suffering. So you practice Dharma and follow that way. We may not solve the problem immediately, but for long run, we can do something, because the bodhicitta has the ability and power. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Now, as I mentioned, I'm so grateful. Thank you, everybody. And just take a deep breath. Inhale fully. Exhale. And now please say some dedication prayers.
Okay, Rinpoche and Assembly, I've been asked to intercede at this moment.
Oh, there's some question.
Oh, there is, okay.
Yeah, what? Somebody what?
Kunchuk Naidun, go ahead.
Okay.
And everyone, white katas, if you have.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Just say good prayers, good dedication prayers in your mind. That's the best kadak in your develop bodhicitta profoundly, and that's the good offering. That's good kadak. Thank you so much.
I ask the assembly to join me and Annie in offering mandala to Rinpoche, and thanks for his teachings on this short series of teachings on Samsara and Nirvana. And for myself, Rinpoche, thank you very much. I look forward to any teachings that you may offer in the future. Sashi pushu shukshin me totam rirabling sini degen padi sangye sing la mikte pulwayi drokun nandag sindu kewarsho kusum yong so lame soknam la Chinang Sangsung Deziniti Jo Daglu Long Chog Nang Si Yong Shela Lame Chogi No Dru Tsel Du So Chag Sel Wadang Choji Dakpa
Jesu yera Jesu
Gewa Jojo Se Dagi Chizalpa Tam Jesu Pe Chang Chup Chirno Om Guru Deva Daki Annie?
Page 57, Long Life Prayer for Rinpoche as composed by His Holiness. I supplicate the longevity deities, Buddha Mitayus, holder of the long life treasure, Ushinisha Vijaya, maintainer of long life primordial wisdom, White Tara, wish-granting wheel of long life bestowal. Please pour your streams of longevity elixir. You have the view realization of Nagarjuna and Maitripa, the meditation experience of Tilopa, Naropa, Marpa, and Lord Mila, the conduct of correct acceptance and rejection of Gambopa, Sagmodrupa, and Kyobypa Jigten Sumgon. May you, holder of this treasury of view, meditation, conduct, live long. Your body's Chenung Tundode, endowed with listening wisdom. Your speech is like Chanda Drajung, endowed with contemplation intelligence. Your mind is Drikung Kagyu, endowed with meditation samadhi. May you, master of listening, contemplation, and meditation, live long. Your renowned learning destroys the confidence of falsehood speakers. Your fragrant discipline cuts down the arrogant. Your cool shade of excellence skillfully encourages all living beings. May you, great master of learning, discipline, and excellence, live long. You maintain the validity of Gongchik teaching tradition. Your lion's roar defeats all defeats. Your compositions expand the tenet system of the Kagyu lineage. May you, great master of teaching, debating, and composing, live long. Khenchen, Lord of speech, aloft, for the benefit of the world on the summit of Mount Meru, a three-jewel scripture and victory banner that will never fall. May your Vajra health and lotus feet be ever steadfast. By blessings, the three jewels and the ocean of conquerors, the power and might of both bound Dharma protectors, and the infallible basic interdependence. May all these aspirations be fulfilled swiftly and without haste. Dedication prayers. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage lamas, assemblies of Idams, assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and Dakinis, dwelling in the 10 directions. Please hear my prayer. By the power of this vast root of virtue, benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by the wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of mind as such and pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I in any case gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo. By the virtues accumulated in the 3 times on myself and all Samsara and Nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious awakening. May the teachings of Drikung Kagyu, who perceives all that can be known, omniscient Lord of the Dharma, with mastery over the vital points of dependent origination, be upheld through hearing, contemplation, and meditation in places of study and practice until the end of samsaric existence. Thank you, Khenchen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Khenchen.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rinpoche.
thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Please take care.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Rinpoche. Tashigale.
Together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much, Khenchen.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, Rinpoche. See you next time.
See you
Take
next
care.
time.
Thank you for your
Bye.
kindness, Khenchen.
Yes, take care.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Yes, everyone.
Bye.
Maravillosa enseñanza, Khenchen.
Yes, enseñanza. Sabiduría.
Gracias, maestro. Gracias.
Sabiduría.
Thank you so much.
Sabiduría.
What is Samadhuya? Oh, is that what that means?
Yes.
Gurula, thank you so much for your
Yes, from Singapore.
Thank you.
Singapore. Yes. And
Practice.
Yes.
Did you see him? He had a bowl on his head and practice.
Who had that?
This child, look.